Mm, We are recording.
Hi, everyone. I am LaurieAnn. I am that gal from Milton, Ontario, Canada, and I am with.
I am that guy. I am Roy Miller from Dallas, Texas. We'd like to welcome you to our Lift Your Story podcast.
Today, we're very pleased to have, I'm going to mess this up, aren't I? Eleni
Yes,
with us?
it's
Okay,
Eleni.
good. And Eleni is a business strategist and prosperity coach. So we're going to learn more about what she does. Thank you for being here.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
You're welcome.
Well, so tell us a little bit about how you got started.
How did I end up doing what I'm doing, right? Well, for so long, and I think it's true for a lot of people, that sometimes we just instinctively, our gifts come out and we help people. And many moons ago, I was working with small to medium business owners, helping them get money when the bank said no. I was connected to private funding groups. But what I realized, what I really loved most about that, besides helping people keep their businesses going and help open their doors, was the connection to that individual and helping them grow their business on all levels. So I care about the individual, not just the business. And when I realized several years ago that, it was time for a little bit of a shift, becoming a business strategist and being a professional coach was the perfect fit. And I love working with entrepreneurs and executives and helping them create, the income, the impact, the lifestyle that they want at any age.
Perfect. It's funny you mentioned the word connect because now it's kind of a trend that people are connectors.
Yes.
That's really what they do. They connect this person with this person, this service with this person. So I mean, I think that's probably an upcoming business model for people.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've been called a human connector for years, for decades, because I believe, authentic connections, relationships is what matters most. And at the end of the day, people still buy from people. So if we don't take the time to truly connect and cultivate relationships so we can help people, connect the right person that has that answer for whatever you're dealing with, it matters more than anything.
There is a risk to that too, though, because your professionalism is on the line too. If you connect two people, you've got to be really careful about that. You're connecting the right people to each other. I did that years ago to help new entrepreneurs through a program that we were teaching them. And it was very, very important for me to make sure that the new entrepreneur that I connected with a business was
Yes.
responsible and pulled
Yes.
through.
100% agree with that. And I'm so glad that you brought that up, because that's why I'm so relationship oriented. And I'm sure we've all experienced, people that might reach out, whether it's on, LinkedIn or some other social media platform, and they want to connect. And then within the next message, within minutes, if not even a day, they're asking you for something, or they want, can you refer me to someone? Well, I don't know you. So to your point, Laurie, if I don't know, like, and trust you, I'm not going to pass you on to someone else, because I completely agree. My integrity, my reputation means the world to me, and I'm going to safeguard that. So I really wish, especially in this day and age, that people would still take the time to cultivate that connection and not try to go in for that, one hit wonder.
Well, I know in the 70s when I started my career, it was all about relationships. I mean,
Yes.
that was it. As it got into the late 80s, mid to late 80s, when the economy was kind of bad here in the States, it kind of got away from the dollar. That's all that mattered was the dollar. But I've seen in the latter teens to now, it's starting to kind of go back to the relationships because there's
Yes.
so much crap out there. People are so tired of getting taken or misled. And so they're looking for somebody they can trust, somebody they can work with, somebody they can have a relationship with.
Yes. Especially, this year, the adventure known as 2020, people are craving real, authentic connections. And I'm sure this with both of you, I'm happy to introduce people. I am happy to make those connections, but it has to be coming from a real relationship first, not that dive bomb. Who do you know? Who can you send me to? You don't even know my last name. You don't even know anything about me, but I'm going to pass you on to someone else? No.
Yeah,
And
I agree with
resumes do lie, so they can actually sit there and write, well, but I've all done this, I'm really, really great, but it's not the resume that's going to sell you. It's you're going to sell yourself.
Yes, yes, because there are, millions of people all doing the same thing. So what's going to draw you into that person, the one that you're going to hire? Whether you need a coach, whether you need somebody in finance, whatever the issue is that you need. Again, I always go back to people still buy from people. And if you don't want to take the time to get to know an individual on some level, how do you expect them to entrust, their friends or their connections, their colleagues to you?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in protecting my integrity and my reputation.
Yes, yes, 100%.
Yeah, and with social media now, you can quote connect with a lot of people, quote unquote. But that's just a one-hit wonder. Somebody, like you say, oh, let's be friends. Oh, what about this? Can you do this? Can I sell you this? It takes a while to develop a relationship. Even
Yes.
somebody you haven't ever met.
And I think since you mentioned social media, that too many people are looking at it purely as a numbers game. I need more followers. I need more friends on Facebook. I need more this. Truly, I remember my mom saying when I was really young, I would rather have 5 real friends than 5,000 acquaintances. And I still feel that way today.
I agree.
Yeah. Friendship's very important to me. Very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And especially, in business, don't you want to trust somebody you're doing business with?
And like somebody you're doing business with.
Yes.
I mean, you don't always have to love them, but
No,
to enjoy working with them is a lot more pleasant. And
yes.
that's, yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
very interesting. Where are you from, by the way, Eleni?
From Detroit. And I say from because I'll always pay homage to my hometown, but I currently live in Clearwater, Florida.
Okay. Where it's nice and sunny, no snow.
Well, I don't miss snow and ice. I will admit that, but there's a lot of things that I do miss about being up north. I miss the old school neighborhoods. I miss, where generations of families were, and things are changing, of course, here. But when you live in an area that most people just come to vacation to and it's beautiful, it's just a different vibe.
So you weren't really too far from me when you were in Detroit, because there's a lot of us in the Southern Ontario that drive over there. It's basically
very close,
right?
Very close. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for technology, even though, as with many people, craving more connection, especially this year, feeling so isolated. But thank goodness we have technology so we can still choose to connect on a lot of levels. We're talking, we're looking at each other, we're connecting, we're getting to know each other. So I'm extremely grateful just to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
That's how LaurieAnn and I met.
Yeah, that's how we met.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a Facebook group.
See, you never know where a real connection is going to be made. So regardless of what, social media, as we mentioned before, the whole having thousands of followers and friends, but, again, you really want the relationships to be authentic and real, professionally and personally, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So who would be your typical client?
Typical for me, it's funny because I never use that word. I'm kind of going through the Rolodex of clients in my head, and there were no two that were even remotely alike. But what they did have in common were serious blocks regarding money and not being able to grow their business. Because I work with entrepreneurs and executives, and I help them bust through those money and mindset blocks And it doesn't matter to me if you want to make 50,000 a year or 50 million or anywhere in between. I see that most people are disconnected from money when the reality is, well, if you're a business owner, you know it touches every aspect of a business. And even if you're not a business owner, money impacts all of us every day and always will. And I really want people to put themselves in the driver's seat with money, to take their power back. So they're making decisions for the right reasons.
I would imagine entrepreneurs, because I know I've worked with quite a few of them. And one thing that I find, there's two different views too. There's the one that wants to do everything, which is not really, it's not feasible. I mean, particularly as you're growing. And then the other one is that once they're growing and they figure out they have to find their accountant or they have to find that, but then not paying attention to the books. You have to, even if you're hiring people, you have to maintain this ability. I know I went through one and, oh no, that's the accountant's problem. I said, no.
Yeah.
When they come back to you and say you owe $250,000, that's your problem. You have to check the books every month. And just an overview, even just to see what's going on. You don't have to do it.
Completely, exactly, but you
Right.
should know your numbers.
Yes.
I absolutely encourage, have your accountant, have the CPA, however your business is structured, but you still need to know your numbers. In fact, I encourage my clients to set up weekly money dates, I call them, where you spend, it's not hours, but you look at all your major accounts and personal as well, whether it's credit card, bank statement, and make sure you know the balances, make sure you know that the interest and what the minimum payments are. And this is not a lot of time, but you still need to know your numbers. And that, to me, when you initiate the attention with money, it means you're in control instead of the money controlling you.
Yeah. I worked for a guy, there were certain things that he wanted to know about. And his comment was, look, I don't have to worry about this job. I've got you to do that. That's why I hired you. So I don't have to worry about it. But I need to worry about the accounts receivable. I need to know about the job we're bidding, are we making money, we're losing money, whatever he said. So his deal was, look, I can hire somebody for that. I can hire people to know how to do whatever. I'm
Sure.
more worried about the business part of it, not the day-to-day job site stuff. Y'all can take care of that. I need to know about, and of course, the guy retired at 55. And we made him 1 year 5 million, next year 7 million, and next year 11 million. And he retired, dadgummit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I definitely don't think you should try to do it all because, been there, done that. How many entrepreneurs are incredibly overworked and underpaid? But there's a big, big difference between working in your business and working on your business. And I see too many entrepreneurs stay working in it, that grind in it. And you can't sustain that. You're going to burn out. You absolutely can't sustain that. So it's putting yourself back in the boss, the CEO mindset. This is your business. You're going to work on your business, but you still need to know your numbers.
Yeah.
And always hire someone smarter than you.
Yeah.
There used to be that saying, you don't, they're smarter in that area. It doesn't mean they're smarter than you in this area. So don't worry about it. You can't.
I was saying earlier that I don't want to be the most expensive house in the neighborhood. You want others to help elevate you as well. It's all part of the mix, part of the balance.
I like that.
Well, yeah. Plus, if you're wrapped up in your business, then your family, your family disappears from you. It's work.
Right.
Work. And you need the balance. Family should be first. My opinion.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, people to me should live life by design. When I talk about helping people creating the income and the impact and the lifestyle they desire. Because too many people think that, all right, I have to make 7 figures or I have to go for 8 figures and nothing else matters. And I say, that's why I say over and over again, it's not the amount that matters to me. Money is going to matter. Money is going to be a part of your life forever. So you should make nice with it. Or I ask people, if you want a rich and rewarding relationship with your spouse, with your kids, with clients, don't you have to pay attention to them? So how can you expect to have a rich and rewarding relationship with money if you're too afraid to pay attention to it, or you see it as a contentious thing that it's just too much tension, I don't want to look at it? So regardless of the income level that you want to attain for whatever lifestyle you desire, please, I ask people, whatever level you're at, whatever age you're at, to cultivate a positive relationship with money. It's not the bad guy.
That's good.
Well, I lost my train of thought there. What I was going to ask you, but blank. I was listening to what you were saying, and I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, because so many people have those limiting beliefs about money. Money's the bad guy. Money's evil. There's never enough to go around.
Or
And
fear,
not-
there's that one too, the fear of money, because if you were brought up and then you saw people and they attained a certain level and it changed them, then you think, oh my goodness, I don't want to make that much money because I'm going to become one of them. And what you have to understand is only you will change if you're going
Yes.
to change. Money's not going to do it,
No,
unless you've got that personality. But if you don't, it's not going to do it. Don't be afraid of that.
no.
Yeah.
And again, that would be giving your power away. And to me, the locus of control is internal. Money can't make you anything. To me, it just helps magnify who you already are. If you have no money, or if you suddenly come into millions, it's still who you are at a core level that matters. And money's too often maligned. It's not the money's fault.
Yeah.
You are the cause, money is the effect. Now, I'm by no means this year, especially with businesses closing, people losing their jobs, their livelihood, nobody caused that. You didn't deserve that. But I'm talking about the long game, month after month, year after year. If you're always in that struggle, if you're always in debt, then you have to look in the mirror, because then you are the cause, money is the effect. But once you learn to embrace that, oh my gosh, you can dramatically change the trajectory of your life going forward.
It's kind of like, and I don't mean to put this, but it's sort of like when people will say, what a bad dog, but it's usually the owner that's fault, right? Wasn't trained properly. And
Right,
it's the owner
right.
that have to train themselves to train their dog.
Yes.
So I just thought
Yes.
of that when you said that, because it's exactly what people say about, dogs and dog owners. It's not the dog, it's the owner.
100%. And that, to me, that's empowering.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you can create the life you want. You can earn the income that you want. Is it going to be easy? No, but it is simple. Once you make the decision, and when you combine strategy with the right mindset, totally can close the gap between where you are and where you want to be financially.
So in your coaching, are you also kind of an accountability coach as well?
Well, I hold their feet to the fire, as Mom used to say. Absolutely. Even when I'm not directly speaking with them, there's always some type of task or check-in that my clients have to provide, so I know that they're staying on task, that they're staying on target. And until it becomes foundational, again, we can't succeed beyond our current beliefs. So you could get the best training in the world. You could learn all the greatest tips and tricks and the latest in marketing. But if deep down you believe, I'm not good in a sales call, or no one's ever going to pay me this, it doesn't matter what you've just learned, because in the heat of that conversation, what's going to have more power? The latest, training and gimmicks you learned, or your deep-seated beliefs about money? It's going to take you out. So that's why the accountability, the consistency, you've got to build the foundation so that you're not taking yourself out of the game.
You find it a challenge sometimes though with the accountability? Because I know a lot of people that's like, oh, well, I don't want to have somebody to be accountable to. So.
No, ironically, I think in all my years of coaching, it's really, I was going to say maybe one, but not really, because I found them at a time where they found me, rather, when they were craving, they knew they plateaued, that they were not living their best life. and they were willing to do whatever it takes. And as I say, as a coach, that like football, I love football. I'm standing on the sidelines and I'm going to be there with you, but I can't score the winning touchdown for you.
Well said.
Do you have, especially when you're going into somebody's business, they're
Yeah.
it's their business. How much resistance do you get whenever you start talking to them about their money and stuff? I would think a lot of people would be kind of like, well, I'm not sure.
They would rather have root canal without Novocaine.
That's what I was thinking.
But then always circling back to what's your end result? What's your ultimate goal? Because if you can't commit to that, then nothing else matters. Why even working together? So to keep your eye on the prize, and for most people, one of the things I see that takes them out of the game is they don't anchor it in. Like say that you have a money goal of, I want to make $250,000 this year. But you have to know exactly why. You have to anchor that in. Is it to grow your business? Is it to buy a house? Is it to save for your kids' college? Is it to donate to charity? Is it for travel? If you anchor it in with emotion, think about anything that you really are attached to emotionally. There's going to be bumps in the road. But if you're like, no, I want this, I need this, I deserve this, you're not going to let it take you out of the game.
Interesting. Yeah. So it's like you're providing in essence a roadmap. Here's what we have to do for you to get there. This is what we have to do. Are you willing to do it?
Right.
If
If you're not willing, again, I'm not running on that football field to score the touchdown for you. Not happening.
Yeah. I would think business owners, they may be at a point where they really need help. They know they need help.
Right.
They want help. Help save me, help me. But I think you would probably run into others who are like, well, I've had this business for 20 years before I met you, and I'm not sure that you know about my business, and I'm not, have that little bit of resistance there of letting somebody in.
Well, I think it's in part, yes, letting somebody in because it's being vulnerable. Like you're not opening just the books, if you will, financially. We have to know the whole story. Because if you're holding anything back, then we're not going to know exactly what the blind spot was. We have to know what was stopping you so we can make sure we clear that out of the path so you can go straight ahead. And that's hard for most people to admit. I think it's human nature. But by the same token, I applaud people because it takes courage. It takes courage to claim that goal, to channel your ambition. And when you say that's what matters most, then you come back with, you're going to do whatever it takes. This is what I want. I'm going to do whatever it takes. If something happened to someone you love and you would do whatever it took to help them. It didn't matter how hard it was. So people that kind of back off and like, yeah, I don't know, is it worth it? Then you just don't want it bad enough. Maybe that goal wasn't high enough or just wasn't the right goal.
But it's still got to be rewarding for you when you work with somebody and you see that from A to Z transition, and they come to you and you go, oh my gosh, thank you. I can't thank you enough for what you did for me.
I feel so blessed and so honored to share their journey without question. And I have infinite respect to be entrusted, when people open up and say, I need help, this is where I want to go. And they trust you to help them get there. It just doesn't get any better than that. And it affects everything. To me, I don't just dial in, like say somebody is very uncomfortable in a sales conversation. I can teach you all day long how to have the right sales conversation, when to talk investment, but I care about the whole person, because if you don't help them holistically, then those segmented parts aren't always going to mesh together. So I think it's important to make sure globally what they're looking at, what they want their life to look like moving forward.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty amazing to be able to help someone in that journey. And then when you see the end where they reach their goal,
Yeah.
and you know, you see the gratitude they have and the difference it makes in their life.
Yes, I am, again, I'm so humbled and grateful. And I had one client not too long ago tell me that I gave him his life back. And it just doesn't get any better than that for me.
Yeah.
You know, he thought because of a certain age and certain circumstances that he was just going to kind of coast. And now he is more excited and jazzed up about his future. I want people to be fired up about their future.
Yeah,
That's gotta be
absolutely.
amazing. That's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
Did you have
Or-
anything, LaurieAnn?
No, I just think it's wonderful. I mean, everything that you talk about is so important to people, but it's lovely too that to have like where your position does have a fulfillment to it as well. And you know, there's a lot of people out there that are doing what they really don't like to do, and you know, understanding that there are the opportunities to do what you love to do. So it's just lovely to see, you know, to interview somebody who really is passionate about what they're doing.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And the fact that you said age is not a factor.
No,
That too.
no, 100%, 100%. And, you know, especially like for myself, because I've had people, oh, well, you know, why don't you just retire? Like, please. I am 10 days shy of 61 and I am just getting started in so many ways.
Good
And
for
I
you.
love it when I work with clients. I mean, I've worked with clients in their 20s to in their almost 80. So
Yeah.
as long as I'm breathing, I'm going to keep moving forward.
Wonderful.
You have the passion. See,
Yeah.
not everybody has that.
Right.
That's to me, that's the key.
Yeah.
You
Passion
have the
pulls you
passion.
forward. Yes.
Yeah. And you move and you help other people find theirs.
Yes. Yes. That's an honor.
Right.
Thank you so much for being on. Really appreciate your time.
Yes, ma'am. We had a great time. It's very nice meeting you.
Thank you. It's been great spending this time with both of you.
And final one, where do people find you?
Well, my name is Eleni Anastos, and I believe that'll be spelled in your show notes, right? And I am branded under my own name, my website, elenianastos.com. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So please don't hesitate to reach out if anybody even just has a question. It never hurts to talk. I'm always happy to engage in conversation.
Great, great.
We were just smiling because he's basically said what LIFT stands
Yeah.
for. I wrote a book on branding and that's how I came up with it. So you just said that. You
Yeah,
said LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. LIFT, she's on all
Perfect.
4 of them.
I'm glad I said it in the right order then.
You did. That's lovely. All right. Thank you very much. Very much
Yeah.
again.
Thank you.
We
Take
really
care.
enjoyed having you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.